gorgeous light beings, my healers, my star seeds, my light workers. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, The Pleiadian Priestess. Thank you for joining me here if this is your first time here. Today's reading is going to be a fun topic, but it might be sensitive for certain viewers. So if you are a very sensitive person, you get offended very easily, this might not be the reading for you. If you clicked on the reading, then you probably already know what it's going to be about. Today we're going to be ranking your attractiveness based on below average, average, or above average, okay? Like I said in some of the groups, not all of them, so we're going to give a whole spiel so everybody gets the same thing. I was on the train going home one day, and I was looking at this lady, and she was very attractive to me. I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. And then I was like looking at everybody else on the train. I'm like, they're not as pretty as her. And I'm like, I wonder if she's looking at me, what she's seeing, and if she's thinking that I'm attractive, and then comparing me, not like mean-spirited to other people on the train, but how would she view me based on the attraction scale of what she said that I'm average, below average. And I'm like, a lot of people in the world are giving below average, especially on the trains of New York City. And then there's certain people who stand out and you're like, oh, that's an attractive person. And they're giving, above average or like average and, anyway. That's basically where the idea of this reading came from. I know the readings that I do about looks are very popular, so I guess we're going to do another variation of that. And yeah, so we're going to get into that. Like I said, if you're sensitive to certain topics or you get offended very easily, you're going to be like, your feelings get hurt, then this is not the reading for you, because I'm going to be honest, or try to be. I'm not going to be mean, of course, but I'm going to be, straightforward, frank, okay? So I tried to, because the readings, like the cards were a little bit, but anyway, you'll see at your reading, okay? We have 4 groups for you guys today. You're going to choose the person, the image, the energy, whatever stands out to you the most. You have 4 groups today. Feel free to choose more than one. And without further ado, I'm going to see you guys at your reading. Make sure to have fun. Take it with a grain of salt. I am not perfect. Nobody's perfect in the world. But there are standards, and there are people who you see them, they look pretty. And then certain people, they grow on you, right? So just take it with a grain of salt. Have fun. Enjoy. And I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group ones. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 1, group 1, number 1, however you got here, welcome. If I sound a little different, my nose is like snuffly right now because I have allergies, okay? But other than that, it's going to be a regular reading. Today's reading, I don't know how I was on the train, right? And I was looking at people, and I'm like the kind of people observer on the train in New York, because you be seeing all types of people. And I'm like, this woman is mad beautiful. And I'm like wondering to myself, I wonder what she's thinking of me or how people are viewing me. And I'm like, she's definitely like above average. And I'm like, this could be turned into a reading. And I feel like I did a reading about this, but it's like, how attractive are you based on societal standards, whatever. I feel like instead of doing that same exact reading again, we could do a different variation of it. And instead it's going to be like, are you above average, below average, or average in looks, okay? And I thought it was going to be very exciting, so let's get into it. I don't know how I'm going to decipher what that message will be based on the cards that I pull and the dice, but it's going to be pretty simple, I feel like, in my opinion. So let's get into it. If you click on the reading, you want to know, are you average, above average, or below average in looks? Now, I'm not planning on being disrespectful at all, but I'm not going to lie. Based on the cards that I get, I will definitely create a little message and then I'll give it to you, okay? And maybe give you some reasons why, or just not try to, go too deep. Because I don't think looks are like the biggest thing we should be focusing on, but those are the views. I mean, those are the videos that get the most views for me. So I guess we'll get into it. I don't know why people just want to know what they look like. And I mean, I understand. Okay. So in the looks criteria, are my group ones below average, average, or above average in looks? Please, Spirit, my group ones. My people chose group 1. Okay. I might take reversals. I don't really think. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Get one more card. Average, below average, above average. Please, Spirit, my group ones. And what is this? We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And then here we have the Knight of Wands. And then we have the 8 of Cups. We have the Devil. Okay. I'm like, this is gonna be so easy. Right now I'm like, is it? And then we have Justice, the World, and Queen of Cups. So I would say that you are slightly above average for looks. You are definitely something to look at, but there's something people are looking at that's like standing out, right? So it's like how I was watching this video. I don't know why YouTube be subscribing. I mean, suggesting the weirdest videos, but it was like girl pretty versus guy pretty, and they were like how girls who tend to be like more masculine or have more manly features that stand out and are more striking are what women find more pretty or more attractive, and so that's girl pretty. And then the men kind of consider the face as well as the body when considering somebody guy pretty, but guy pretty is more so like everything mixes together really well on the face, and there's not like striking eyes or like defined brows or short hair. Like men prefer like longer hair, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Softness, things that don't really like stick out, like things that come together really well, if that makes sense. Which is why when we see a girl who's guy pretty, we're like, oh, she's mad average, you know, in most people's opinions. And they're like, oh, well, she's bad, da, 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 da. And we're like, no, she's pretty average. Nothing's like striking about her, you know. Not saying you, okay, yeah. So yeah, you're giving slightly above average because there's something that's like striking about your opinion. I mean, your looks, but it's like it's something that sticks out, right? So that's what I'm kind of getting, the guy pretty versus girl pretty. I would say you're very girl pretty, but guy pretty, I'm not really getting that. I mean, that should be the name of the reading. Now that we're getting into it, now we have stormy weather. Yeah, so it's given when people are trying to decipher if you're attractive or not. It's not like really giving, right? Or some people are like, nah, she's all right. And some people are like, oh my God, she's so gorgeous, you know? Which is why it's giving average, because people are not like over jumping at the bit to say, oh yeah, you know? So we're coming through with that. Also, so I'm going to show you the cards you guys got. We have the Strength card coming out for you guys. And the Strength card is kind of giving me she's half beautiful, but also, like I said, there's something like striking about her appearance. Something that could be a little bit intimidating, right? And it's giving how, if you have like really like harsh eyebrows or like thick eyebrows or something like that, people are like, oh, like that feature of her is like too manly. It stands out too much or something like that. You know what I mean? Something like that is coming through. But like half human, half animal, not calling you an animal or anything in any kind of way. And then we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And when I think of wands, I think of like a very male-dominated energy, like arousal, sexual tension, things of that nature. And the fact that it's coming out in reverse as well as the death. You know what I mean? Like it's like this upright would be giving like drop dead gorgeous, right? With it coming out in reverse, it's there. But there's something that's like missing, if that makes sense. Like I said, I'm not saying anything to sound insulting. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So there's a lot of people who are like chasing after you. Your energy, your looks affect people. They do. But it's kind of like, oh, I'm not like gonna like, you know, drop down and bow down for them. I'll say that person's attractive. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like when I see her, I'm hit by something. It's like, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous or he's beautiful. You know, but it's not like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in the world, you know? So that's why I'm getting average, but just slightly above average. Because I feel like you're above average to females and you're average to guys, if that makes sense. If we're doing the guy pretty versus girl pretty thing, which came through. So I feel like that could be a way to differentiate it. And then we have stormy weather, which is why I feel like people have differing opinions. And it's kind of giving me how like when I was like in high school, all my girlfriends were like, oh my gosh, you're so this and that. But I'm like, but where's the male attention? Not saying that I craved it or wanted it, but as a teenage girl, you want like guys to like you and look your way. I was getting all my compliments from my girlfriends, and I'm like, or like random people, but I'm like, okay, but where's the guys? Like none of them were saying anything, and it's because now that I'm older, I understand it's guy pretty versus girl pretty. Like you have certain things that girls want and they consider attractive, but it's not the same thing that men are looking for when they're looking for a girlfriend or whatever, a partner, right? So it's definitely giving above average, but like in girl pretty versus guy pretty way. If you're talking about guy pretty, what guys think about you and how attractive you are, you're coming through as average. But when it comes to girl pretty, you probably get a lot of compliments from girls saying how beautiful you are, how striking your eyes could be, or how pretty your hair is, or how innocent you look and sweet. And I feel like men, I feel they like the innocent and sweet, but they like the vixen, like get to be mixed with both. So maybe you're too like pretty and girly for them, or girlish. You look too young, you know, too fresh. And they want someone who's like, you know, sexy vixen-y. That's what the guys are looking for. You know, like, For example, one of the girls that were used in Guy Pretty is, I forget her name, crap. Oh, what is her name? She was one of the girls in Euphoria. She was Cassie, I believe. And she's a girl with a really big boob. She's like a blonde. And all the guys are like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Like, that's my celebrity crush. Blah, 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 blah. And the girls are like, she's all right. Like, she's beautiful, yeah. But there's nothing like, oh my gosh, about her. But all the guys are like, yeah, that's my celebrity crush. That's the kind of energy coming through. And it's like she gives like girl next door vibes with big boobies. And guys are like, oh yeah, that's what I want. That's what I like. Da, 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 da. And it's like there's something about her that they can lust over, they can sexualize, you know. But if your son's like really pretty, and you may not have like the biggest of boobies or the big butt or whatever these men are looking for physically, you just have like a pretty face, kind of giving like, oh, she's cute, I can say she's cute, but she's not like my type or something like that, is the vibe that I'm getting. So people could like discuss your looks a lot. Here we have do it yourself, and we have stand by. Please stand by. So it's like, you know, ask me in a few years when she's developed more, is what I'm hearing. This is ghetto. Please. Like, ask me in a few years when she's developed a little bit more. Please stand by. It's like, give me some time. Maybe I'll have a different opinion if she were to do this, if she were to do that. You know, lose weight, gain weight, get bigger titties, get da-da-da-da, blah, 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 kind of energy, you know? That's the kind of energy that's coming through. Also, another person who was used as, like, Guy Pretty was, like, Kylie Jenner. And I feel like she became Guy Pretty after she got she, how can I describe it? Got the, you know, things done to accentuate her body a little bit more. She got the boobs done, supposedly, you know, allegedly, and then she got the booty done allegedly, you know? And like before that, she was giving very average, in my opinion. She was always beautiful, had the big, beautiful eyes and everything, but I don't think guys would be clamoring or saying, oh my gosh, yeah, Kylie the way they do if she didn't get the body done as well. So it's kind of like maybe your face is pretty, but the body isn't really giving what people would consider conventionally attractive. I don't freaking know. I need a second to hold my nose. Sorry. Okay, so now we have do it yourself as well. So it's definitely giving how some girls like get the all over treatment and guys are clamoring to open their door and stuff like that. But for you, it's kind of like you have to do everything yourself, even because you're already in a masculine energy, which makes you less attractive to guys in general. When you're doing things that men are supposed to do, men are like, oh my gosh, she's too aggressive, she's too assertive, she's too this. But in the same breath, they love that. Oh, I like when a girl has attitude. Like men are just so, we're not even basing this off of what men think, but I'm using the examples. But basically, do it yourself is giving there could be something like masculine about your features, you know. I'm hearing like it's a broad chin, maybe you have like very defined bone structure, and that's like not the softness that they're looking for, I would say. Or if you're a female, I should say, it's not giving the softness that men like. If you're a male, you could be like more soft and more like pretty. But I feel like that's what the girls like as well, because they were talking about how men look at Timothée Chalamet and they're like, we don't understand what the girls see in him, but everyone loves Timothy, and it's because he has more feminine features, the curly hair, the pretty eyes, the eyelashes, the defined like bone structure, and men are like, we don't see it, but women are like, oh my gosh, gaga over him, you know. But yeah, I'm getting slightly above average for you guys, like I said anyway. The do it yourself is giving, oh, that person's pretty, but maybe it's like there's something that's like intimidating about you or like masculine about you. And women will find that beautiful and gorgeous, but men are like, you know what I mean? Let's see what else is coming through for you guys. I think the dice will really tell me more. But the Eight of Wands is definitely like, you know, you stop people in their tracks. They don't know what to make of it, you know? Here we have Snake. We have desire and attraction. So you are attractive, right? We have Gate, opportunities and home. So yeah, you're definitely slightly above average for you guys, I would definitely say. And then we have slowness and protection, the Turtle. Like, I feel like there's something about your personality that could be a little like with the strength coming through, not strong. Yeah, your personality could be a little bit strong. And that leads people to be like, that, you know, like a whole bunch of things tie into attractiveness. So for you, a bunch of different things are coming through. I'm trying to base it off looks, but I'm like, looks are not, you know, the only thing people use to find somebody attractive. I feel like your very full-on personality or overly aggressive or assertive or, you know, just masculine energy could kind of tie into your looks as well. So you could be someone who is really beautiful, but then you like You could be like, I'm hearing a butch. You know what I mean? I think that's like the girls that dress like guys. And people are like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. But then it's giving, she's in her masculine energy, so she's not looking for me. So it's like, oh, she's not that attractive, you know? The perfect person that I'm hearing is, I think her name is Young M.A. or MMA or something like that. And she's like a really beautiful girl, but she dresses more masculine and it works for her. And she wears the hat, she wears the baggy clothes, and people would see her, and guys would be like, oh my gosh, if you were a girl, you could get it. But they're kind of put off because she's coming through as a masculine energy and they know, oh, she don't really want me, right? So it's kind of giving you pique people's interest, but there's something about you, your looks, the stare, the personality that kind of like makes them turn away. And they're like, oh, you know, maybe not. So when people look at you, they're like, oh yeah, you're attractive. But it's kind of like half, like not animal, but it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe your eyes are a little bit intimidating. Okay. Maybe you are a model and your looks are very intimidating, but then we also have some models who are not seen as overly attractive the way others are. So it's kind of giving that there are opinions about your looks, and that could mean you're in the spotlight a lot and people like are having like debates back and forth, chirping, like, oh no, she's attractive, oh she's all right, she's this, you know what I mean, that kind of energy. But with the turtle, slowness and protection, it's giving me an energy that you put off, an air of like, stay away, right? So people look at you and say, oh yeah, she's pretty, but you kind of RBF. I'm like, oh, maybe not, you know what I mean? So like, it's not, they're saying that you're not as attractive because of this and that. It's just like, there's an energy you give off that's like, oh, what was that? Something just made noise. Do y'all hear that or it's just me? Very interesting. But yeah, this stormy weather keeps making me think that people are like confused or like, what's the word I can use? Not confused, not the good word. It's like back and forth, you know? They're like, oh, on one hand, she is, the other hand, she's like, she could do this or that. She could do that to make better. She could do that, like, you know, nitpicky. And that's not cute energy, but it happens in society. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in my case, the face is giving, but then the rest of me is giving like chunky. You have to like, it's an acquired taste. So for example, like in my case, I feel like my face be given, right? It's giving face card never declines. But if I were to go outside and if I were to ask a guy versus a girl, how attractive would you find this person? The ratings would be different because guys don't really go for people who are chunkier, but girls are looking at the face, the aesthetic, what you wear, how you wear your makeup, and guys just looking at the body and the face, right? So depending on how I ask, who I ask, you know, essentially, they would give different ratings, but it's giving it's giving above average, okay? Right? But people still, their opinions differ. So it just depends who you're asking is what I'm hearing, okay? Because Ace of Wands is an energy of, you know, being sexually attracted to someone. And if you have a desire and attraction, but the fact that it's coming out in reverse, it's the desire is there, but there's something like, I don't know, stormy weather keeps giving me like, not troubled. I can't find the right word. The right word is just not there. Not controversial, maybe? I don't think so. But there's something that's like, I can't figure out what it is. Like, I'll just go confused, right? Yeah, so let's get the dice and see what they say. So it's given on one hand, people do find you above average. And on the other hand, maybe other people would find you average, depending on what they personally like, if that makes any sense. But here we have Sagittarius, so there could be something here about your boo that they find very attractive, and that could be one of your redeeming qualities, if that makes sense. I don't want this is a lot about to focus on looks. I feel like I become nitpicky, and I'm trying to like over-explain myself, but I feel like people are going to get like offended for whatever reason, because people do, right? Here we have Gemini. So it's kind of like, oh, you become more attractive because you're funny. or because you can tell really good jokes, or you're very witty and the banter is there and it's giving all that person's now above average, but when I first saw them, they weren't that, I hope that makes sense. There's something like too much overwhelming about your like energy, more so than anything that takes you right above average. It makes you slightly above or above average, if that makes sense. Here we have ninth house, we just have the Taurus energy coming through again, and it's giving how sometimes people with like bigger butts would get more attention, even if the face ain't really giving, they would get more attention than girls who are pretty but doesn't really get straight up and down. I'm sorry. I'm not even saying this to be rude or anything. I'm not laughing at anybody. I'm just like, the way I'm describing or explaining something is just like, girl, what are you even talking about? Like, there are some people who don't really have any curves, or just like, straight, really limber, svelte is a good word. They don't really have anything, but then they would even be, in certain circles, they would be considered more attractive than someone with a big butt. So it just really depends who the person is, which is why I'm just like, which one is it? Are you above or are you average? Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, if you're looking at a black man and they come from a background or culture where big boobies and small waists and big booty is the standard of beauty for them, and you bring someone who's gorgeous but they don't really have the body going for them, are they gonna be like, she's average or above average? You're gonna probably say, oh, she's average, she's pretty, right? But she's not what I'm looking for. And then you'll find someone who's like in a more whatever standard, like a white person, for example, and they're used to being around people who may not be the most curvaceous, and they see someone who's beautiful, and then she has like a very svelte, slim, maybe model-esque kind of body, and they will say, oh yeah, she's gorgeous, she's above average. And that's because that's what they're looking for, so I guess it just depends what body type is coming through, or who's looking at you, who's perceiving you at the time. But the ninth house is definitely giving, you have maybe smarts, you have witty banter, okay, you have like, you got jokes is what I'm hearing, and that would also tip you over into above average, because when you're funny, you become more attractive to people, right? Here we have 11th house, you maybe make friends very easily, or your friends would kind of be like, there's more than meets the eye, like your friends are the ones like, bigging you up, so in your friend, I'm not trying to bring too many perspectives into this, that it's going to get very confusing very fast, okay? 11th house energy comes through Aquarius vibes. Like I said, there's something that sticks out about you, stands out. It's giving like, maybe like I'm hearing your eyes could be like farther apart than most people are, and most people, if on their face, it would be beautiful. For like Halle Bailey, for example. And then other people would be like, oh no, her eyes are too far apart. Even some people say that about her, and she's gorgeous in my opinion, right? I would say she's very much above average, and I feel like most people would say she's above average, but who knows? That's my opinion, right? Then we have Pluto, which is death coming through again. How interesting. Like, if I were to put these cards upright with the Eight of Wands, death, and Ace of Wands, kind of like your beauty is striking and it's very strong and very fierce. And I would say that's, like I said, average or slightly above average for you guys. And the more that I'm reading it, the more it's kind of like you're giving, I can do battle by myself kind of energy with the do it yourself. And please stand by. Like, there's some people who are like, I need to know a bit more before I rule, I need to learn more about this person. Some people are going based on personality. I'm kind of getting like a mixed bag for you guys, which is why I'm giving like split down the middle vibes. But here we have, I think this is South Node. So past life is giving me a face that everybody, oh my gosh, I'm about to throw this whole camera. I heard a face only your mother could love. That's not what I'm getting for you guys, but that did come through, okay? That could be something, those can be insults you give other people, because that was funny. That caught me off guard, and now I'm laughing like, oh, you know what, maybe you're not as, as I thought before. But South Node is giving me, you have a face that is, people feel like they've seen before, maybe a little bit approachable. Anything else I can pull from? But based on the cards that you caught, we have Sag energy. You're fun. Okay, you know how to have fun. You know how to have a good time. With this strength card, it could be something like very muscular, or I don't know the body type. Or like I said, that straight up and down energy where you don't really have many curves. I think it's a square body type. I'm not 100% sure. And that could be something as well. You look like you work out, like you're strong, physically strong. For my men, my women, doesn't really matter. But like you have a good, strong body, okay? And the face is definitely giving. Your lips are standing out for me. Your eyelashes are standing out for me. Your eyes are standing out for me, honestly. And I love how on the strength card, she's giving like model because she's posing like a model. It's giving photo shoot. And how in, what did this fall on? It was South Node. Where did it go? And how in the American Sun Top model, they would like have them pose with like animals and stuff and tell them to do your best pose, right? And then here we have the carnelian crystal around her neck, which is giving sun energy. So it is giving like very strong, fiery, hot, imposing, intimidating kind of energy for you guys. So based on what I got here, my final verdict is giving above average, right? Maybe you have that model, like, broody face as well, you know? Where it would kind of intimidate some people, but other people are like, oh my gosh, you're still so attractive no matter how intimidating you are. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave the reading right there. There's nothing else I can really say. At the bottom of the deck here, we have stay in bed in reverse. That doesn't really matter. Stay in bed. And look at how she's kind of chunky in the card. Like, she's just staying in bed, doesn't really work out. Others of you could be like, you know, just a big boned or, you know, a little thicker. And people are like, oh, the face is, yeah, I would say she's cute, but not my type because, you know, maybe she's a little too plush. You know what I mean? A little too chunky kind of energy. And like I said, that's making you average because of what your body looks like, but the face card is giving. Some of you could have chin dimples. I'm hearing some people could have dimples. I'm hearing beauty marks as well. I'm also hearing like dimples, like, how can I describe them? Like right here, because I'm thinking of Lauren from Love is Blind season 1, and how when she smiles, her dimples aren't cheek. It's giving like right here. Okay, so maybe smile lines. I know they're not smile lines on her, but they could be smile lines on you. So you give like more approachable because you smile more. Then you're giving model face. But I mean, models smile in campaigns sometimes. And the lamb is like giving, oh, I'm hearing Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. So maybe you have really good skin and that makes you more youthful in appearance. And people are like, oh, yeah, she's attractive, but she's all right. You know what I mean? She's too cutesy, or she's too, you know, or he's too this, or he's too that kind of energy. With desire and attraction coming through, there are people who would consider you very attractive, which is why I said I keep bumping it up to like above average, honestly. And then South Node, you make people very comfortable. You have a face that people are like, oh my gosh, I've met you before. You know what I mean? Maybe you have like a slow strut. You walk really slow, and that's like very, you know, sexy as well as giving model catwalk for some of you. Feline-esque is what I'm getting. And felines are, if you were to see a lion in the wild, you'd be like, oh, that's crazy, I'm gonna run. Right? But we can't deny that they're beautiful, you know, creatures. But we're not going to be like, you know, running towards a lion or approaching one in the wild. We're running away from them. That's the kind of energy. It's like intimidating kind of beauty, which is why it's giving. Some people are like, no, they look too mean for me. And some people will be like, oh, that's beautiful. I like that. You know, like a feisty woman. And some people are going to be like, no, that's too feisty for me. So like I said, we're going to leave it around average, above average for you guys. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. I hope you didn't get offended. Okay, don't get offended. There's no reason to. Take it. If it resonates, leave it. If it doesn't, it's as simple as that. If you'd ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me. Use my email in the description box below. If it did resonate though, like, comment, subscribe, join the tribe. I'd love to have you. Okay? You can always book a reading with me. If a personal reading, if you'd like to, I think I said that already. I said that already for sure. But anyway, I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 2s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 2, option 2, number 2, then welcome, however you got here. Today's reading is going to be, if you clicked on the reading, you know what the reading is going to be about. But the reading is going to be about today's reading. Gosh, okay. Today's reading is going to be about, are you below average, average, or above average in attractiveness, okay? So how attractive would you be if someone were to rate you on those scales, okay? So I did group 1 already, and just a disclaimer, if you are fussy or sensitive
or this is not something you don't want to hear the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, this is not the reading, and I am not the reader for you. Okay? I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm not going to be brutal or mean in any kind of way, but if something comes through, I will definitely let it come out. These readings are not meant to be like help make you feel like low self-esteem, but on an overall view of your looks, how would you rank? Like I said, below average, average, or above average. Don't get butthurt, or if you're someone who's easily butthurt or easily triggered, this is not the reading for you, but we're going to see what comes through. I'm going to pull all the cards, and then I'm going to roll some dice, and then based on what I see in the cards and the dice, I will let you guys know my verdict. You don't have to believe my verdict. You don't have to trust my verdict. Okay? A lot of things came through in group 1. This reading is not meant to even be that long. It's just a quick bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, to see what comes through for you, okay? So we're going to get into it. If you're sensitive and get butthurt easily, this is not the reading for you. Okay. At the bottom, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Very interesting. These are two very attractive people. They're older, so maybe some people here are older. They're more mature. Okay. That doesn't add or take away to your attractiveness, in my opinion. So we're not even going to go based off age. But 10 of Pentacles is definitely someone who's nice and has a nice, stable life and a structure, a home, family life, you know. You could be a parent. Okay, so I'm hearing mom bod, dad bod. And that is definitely very attractive to some people, not so attractive to other people. So I'm not even going to rate that in either. So let's get into it. On my group 2, and if you hear me speaking weird, I feel like I'm stuffy because I have allergies right now. So just bear with me if I sound different. That's why. I feel like I can hear myself like more nasally right now. So let's get into it. On my group 2s, you have Queen of Cups. I'm hearing you're very pretty. You're very beautiful. You have like maybe an innocent, fresh, classic, timeless beauty to you guys. Whether you're feminine or masculine. Okay, we have the 9 of Swords. So this is definitely giving stress, anxiety. This could mean people get anxiety from trying to talk to you, or some of you could maybe have social anxiety, which will add or take away from your attractiveness and whoever is viewing you. There's a whole bunch of different perspectives, honestly, which is why these readings are always so mad. Because you could be gorgeous to one person, and you can be not so gorgeous to another person, you know? But a 9 of Swords is some people think about you a lot, okay? Or people get anxiety from how attractive you are, or you have social anxiety, or you have anxiety about how attractive you are, which comes through in your confidence or lack thereof, okay? The next one we have the Fool. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. I don't even know if I want to take reversals because I feel like they confuse me in group 1. We have the 6 of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Fool. Now, before I get into it, I'm going to get some confirmations or some added cards from the Oracle deck. Sometimes that helps. It adds perspective. And this is like giving me what is that meme with, I think it's like his name is Kevin something from King of Queens. It was that comedy show when we were younger, when I was younger, and like there's like a meme where he's like his arm is behind his neck and he's like scratching his neck and he's like looking like shy or reserved or something, and he's kind of like dad bod material for real because he has a little belly pouch, right? So it's definitely giving that. Maybe you like are very much in your head or nervous, and that comes through in your look. The people are like, people love people who are confident, out there and in your face. Most people, I'm gonna add that disclaimer. Most people love people who are confident, sure of themselves. So the fact that you come off a little like shy, the guy who be like looking down, like looking really like, you know what I mean? That could be something that comes through in your appearance. And like I said, he ended up with a baddie, okay, in that show. I forget what that girl's name was, but everyone was like, oh my gosh, that's your wife, blah, blah, blah. It's like giving Jordan Lopez and Angie effect as well, where you're giving like maybe the not most conventionally attractive, but there's something about it that's funny or sweet, and you still end up with a baddie anyway, okay? But that's what this reading's about. It's definitely giving something here about dad bod, like I said, mom genes or something like that. And there's something here about your anxiety coming through in your looks, and that's something. Let's see what else comes through. But that's funny. I'm sitting here scratching my back, and that little thing is coming through. Okay. We have dead end. Dead end. I'm getting like, you know how your hair be having dead ends? That's kind of coming through. So maybe your hair have dead ends. And I feel like they are more prominent when you are a curly girl or guy. So some of you could be curly people here, because even in the Queen of Cups, she's kind of giving curly girl. Maybe some of you have colored hair as well, because she's giving pink and white and blue a little bit in her hair. So you guys are giving like very water sign energy, and they're known for being more to themselves, more subdued, more quiet. Okay, I'm hearing that song from Hunter Hayes. So your confidence is quiet, and to them quiet looks like weakness, because in their shallow minds there is no room for anyone who dares to be something different. So won't you listen for a minute? Crowd, trust the ones who's been where you were, wishing all it was sticks and stones. Your words cut deep, but they don't mean you're all alone and you're not invisible. So that's also tying into this reading as well. Maybe you're someone who has so much potential for love and for giving romantic love to someone, but people are not considering you with the Knight of Cups in reverse. You're not able to show this love to people. It's just so, that song by Hunter Hayes is coming through. Invisible, give it a listen if you don't know it or haven't heard it already. But that's basically what it's like. It starts off as like, crowded hallways are the loneliest places for outcasts and rebels and anyone who dares to be different. Okay, so there's something here about you being different, doing something different, and it causes anxiety in others or in yourself. Like I said, so for some of you, could be alternative. You have different hair, you dress differently, your body's not the standard of beauty, and it adds to your overall dis-ease or unease when you're in the general public, right? Because you're thinking, what if they're judging me? What if they're free? Not free, sorry, I was looking at the Fool card that was giving free. What if they don't like me or they're judging me is the kind of energy you may come through as. And it's just like, if you were to just trust fall into this pool and not really care what people think, that would make you more attractive. If you wanted to, you know, some feedback, I guess. But yeah, that's coming through. You give like an air of like being stuck and not letting loose or being free. But the last card we have is a Fool card. But let me continue. Dead ends on your hair. Okay, so if you could have like dead ends on your hair, and that would also take away from a little bit from your attractiveness, because people consider dead ends unattractive. It weighs down the hair. It makes it stringy, not as lively, not as glossy and full of life. So this with the Nine of Swords is definitely giving maybe you're someone who has low energy, or like I said, you come off more subdued because you're not like out there and loud and proud the way everyone else is. And that's also Queen of Cups energy. She's very much to herself, very soft, you know, soft life, soft girl, sensitive person. They're like, I can't talk to everyone and be around everyone because I'm really sensitive, and I actually care what people think of me. Okay, next card. Here we have separation. And I kind of feel like this is also tying into the separation of self, because we have a Queen of Cups. She definitely seems to be someone who's at peace, who's at ease. The next card we have is the Nine of Swords, which is someone who's the complete opposite of at ease. The next card we have is the Knight of Cups, who's someone who's afraid to maybe shoot their shot at people. So it's giving someone whose looks are below average or average, because you don't want to shoot your shot because you think you're not attractive. There's something here about you actually being attractive, but it's the fact that you don't have confidence in yourself that makes you average to other people. Because like I said, people love people who are confident out there, even if they aren't the most conventionally attractive. Like Lizzo, for example, the fact that she was always loud and proud and about who she was made a lot more people attracted to her, because she was always herself. Of course, there's always going to be freaking keyboard warriors saying, lose weight, you're fat, you're this, you're that, but she didn't give a flying blue. She loves herself at her bigger size, and she still loves herself at this size she is now, because she's lost a lot of weight. She's gone through a transformation. So that can be something that's going through. Maybe some of you have gone through a big weight transformation, and you've gone through like a glow up from when you used to be the dorky, nerdy person. Now you're attractive with this Fool card coming out at the end. Because it's giving you went from being this energy to being someone's like an ugly duckling turned into the swan. You were never accepted or a part of the fray or a part of the pack. You were always different. And then you went through your ugly duckling phase and you turned into the beautiful swan. And not everybody want to be calling you. Okay? So it's giving you had a progression. And now there's two distinct parts of yourself. The one who you used to be and the person you're trying to become now. But it's giving when you're more open and more freeing and you don't really care what people think. That's when you're your most attractive. Is the vibe that I'm getting from you guys. So you guys have definitely gone through like I'm hearing cocoon phase. You've gone through a transformation of some kind. A hair transformation, body transformation. There's something. You used to be bigger. Now you're smaller. You used to be smaller. Now you've got some gains, you know. Your booty is giving. The boobs are getting bigger. Something like that. You went through some kind of change. And now we have wild card. Now people don't really know what to take you for because your demeanor is saying, don't look at me. But your body or looks, however, whatever you're giving now is saying, look at me. You understand? So it's kind of giving me people who dress differently. Okay? People who dress with their hair all out there. People dress with their body all showing. People dress with their makeup beat to the gods, but then at the same time, they're kind of like closing in on themselves, like, don't look at me, please don't look at me. But you're wearing things and doing things that say, look at me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that separation of juxtaposition. You're also representing something like a wild card. So now I'm like, which one are you? I feel like if you wanted to, like, coast or disappear into the crowd, you would be considered maybe below average, but once you're more confident, you are like average and above. And that's like not even giving a straight answer at this point, but we're gonna see what the dice say. No, there's one more deck to pull from, then we're gonna pull from the dice. The dice definitely give me a bigger, clearer picture. Regardless of all the other stuff and the reading, I do think you come through as someone who is very fun, who knows how to have a good time. You could be very polite. It's giving, like I said, good girl, clean, cookie cutter kind of image, masculine or feminine. And those people are always seen as less attractive because they're the ones who are overlooked. Even in all the shows, if you want to use an example, all the television shows and movies we grew up watching, the girl who has the glasses and she carries her books like so, like wrapped around her chest, and, you know, she has braces or doesn't really dress like fashionista-y. She's the one who gets looked over in all the movies until she goes through like a transformation and starts showing herself and putting herself out there. Then all of a sudden she's the most popular girl and all the guys are like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. So you can be someone who tries to play it under the radar, but people still see you. And that's that separation. Let's see what these cards say for my group. Here we got playfulness, cooperation. I think that's also playing into the Fool card. So I would say for you guys, you're like, okay, let me get the rest of the cards out. We have Bear, Strength, and Resourceful. Strength and Resourceful. And then we have Slowness and Protection with the Turtle. And this came through a group 1 as well. Now I want to get the dice. Group 2, Spirit, Group 2. Are they below average or above average? We have another same. We have the South Node coming through. So there's something about you that always looks comfortable or looks approachable, looks nice. You have one of those faces that is easily recognizable, or I don't think that's what not easily recognizable, maybe. Like I'm hearing piercings as well, so you can have like a lot of piercings, and that makes your face easily recognizable. I'm also hearing gauges for some of you, but like one of those faces that like, oh, have I seen you somewhere before? And that came through in group 1. So you may feel called to group 1 if this is not resonating for you. Your demeanor, how you come through off anyway, okay? But yeah, the South Node is like, comfortability, something that we have a lot of practice doing, something where you're set in your ways, right? So it's something that happened in a past life that you've honed, and now you're like an expert at it in this life. So it's not something you have to focus too much on. Now the North Node is something you have no experience in, and you're trying to work towards the same way you're working towards your ascendant energy. But the South Node is like something you're very comfortable doing, you feel comfortable doing. Okay, so I kind of think it's giving like you would fade in the crowd kind of energy. So it's definitely giving maybe below average to average. Okay, but let's see what comes through with dice. We have Gemini. So there's something here about your speech, the way you talk, the way you express yourself, that's very attractive. Is what I just heard. Here we have the Moon. Mysterious vibes. Yeah, so it's like giving dark aesthetic, giving dark energy, and you dress in a way that stands out, but it's also like you still are hiding, if that makes any kind of sense. Huh. That's a very interesting energy that I'm like getting. I'm like, so are you out there? Are you more reserved? Is it both, that you have a separation, you have a dichotomy living within you where it's like, I'm this, but I'm also that? So I feel like it depends. Like I said, when you're the full energy, you're very attractive. When you're the opposite of that, you're like, you can get lost in the crowd and nobody would even recognize that you were there, right? So we have the Moon. Then we have Virgo. And Virgo is the maiden. I would say the maiden would be like attractive, but it's definitely giving shy and meek and, keep to themselves kind of energy, no matter what you dress like. The vibe you give off is, I'm shy. But you're not, because I'm hearing freaking Ashniko, where she's like, I'm shy. I'm so shy. And she's not. And then she goes on to say, I'm not shy, I'll say it. I've been picturing you naked. And at the end of the song, she's like, I'm so shy. And I'm like, Ashley, go shut up. But period. It's like give off the energy of shy, but you're not. You know what I mean? And I feel like depending on the energy you give off is how attractive people find you at the moment. So when you're being out there, and when you're showing everything and leaving nothing bare, being very crazy, being very alternative, being very loud, proud, and who you are, that's when people find you the most attractive, right? Y'all are giving Ashniko vibes. Like, you know what I mean? Like the closet little weirdo. And I'm not saying that. I'm seeing that in a very endearing, lovely kind of, because I love a weirdo, okay? So when I say weirdo or something like that, I don't mean it in like a derogatory sense, because I'm a weirdo. And I love me, child, okay? But that's the vibe was coming through for you guys. She was like, I'm so shy. And then in the same breath, in the same sentence, in the same bleeping song, she's like, I'm not shy, I'll say it. I've been picturing you naked. Big doe eyes, amazing. She's everything, I've been something. I think it's Slumber Party. Me and your girlfriend playing dress up in my house. I gave your girlfriend cunnilingus on my couch. She cute. Hawaii hentai boobies, that excites me. I think she really likes me. Ask politely, can I slumber party. Like, you're giving slumber party supposed to be cutesy, right? A slumber party is supposed to be cutesy. We're dressing up in our pajamas. We're playing Truth or Dare. Now that song was coming through by Tyler. Truth or Dare. Da, 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 da. Anyway, we're supposed to be playing, having pillow fights, drinking hot cocoa, telling each other who our crushes is in our grade. Like, that's supposed to be cute, but she's turning it into a naughty, raunchy thing, right? So you go from being innocent and sweet to being this freaking firecracker. Not even firecracker, but this weirdo. And people are like, I love the weirdo. The one who's shy and meek can go sit down somewhere. And that could be something you're learning or something you will learn, to kind of own your femininity and own your weirdness, okay? But the Virgo energy is like giving me shy and buttoned up vibe, but she's also the maiden. She's also the, what do you call it? I don't forgot what I was gonna say. She's also like So Virgo represents the harvest, it represents the fall, it represents when everything has been grown, it has been growing over the summer, and now we're ready like to pluck them. So it's giving like a freshly plucked plum, or peach or daisy, something that seems untouched and innocent. Harvester could be, I guess, a word that I'm using to describe the Virgo, but they're also the virgin, right? First and foremost, the virgin, the maiden, someone who's innocent and sweet. And that's the kind of vibe that you give off, but you're also really not underneath it all. And people are like, so which one is you, huh? They don't know what to expect. So now I don't know what to say. Now we have 12th house, which is that ethereal vibe of things being hidden. That's also the moon energy. So I do feel like people know there's a lot more under the surface than what you show them. And I think that intrigue makes you more attractive than you could actually be, is the energy that's coming through. That intrigue, that I want to know more. What is this person about? You know what I mean? They act this way, but then they dress this way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then even in the song, she's like hentai boobies. So your boobies can be something that like you show, but then when people pay attention to it or whatever, you maybe can get shot. I don't know. There's an energy here about that, where you show off the goods, but then you're like, you know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have done it or something like that. Or maybe you showed off, you don't worry about it, But people are like, are you a schoolgirl? Are you a vampire? Are you a goth? Are you alternative? Are you a sweetheart? You know what I mean? And I'll hear that song from, what's her name? What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart, but you love me anyway. Interesting. Pick up the girl, put another glass of that rock and roll. I'm trying to remember her name. It's Elle King. Yeah, America's Sweetheart is a vibe that's coming through. It's kind of like I'm hearing that's what they call me. Sophie from Corey in the House, America's Sweetheart. She was like, that's what they call me, but what? If you remember her freaking character, she was an evil mastermind. She was evil. So you give off innocent and sweet, but they know there's something underneath that. And I find that very attractive. But does that make you below average or above average? Now, I have no idea. But we have 12th house. There's a mystery. There's an intrigue to you that people want to get to know more. But that's not what this reading is about. The reading is about, are you below average or above average? Like I said, I'm going to keep it to below to average. I'm going to stick with that, okay? I feel like you're able to elevate those or that ranking when you are more yourself. When you're more playful, when you're naughty, you know what I mean? And then we have 11th house. 11th house is the house of networking. It's the house of social media. It's the house of Aquarius. And Aquarius is a very unconventional. They're very eccentric. They're very out there. And that's your vibe for sure. But is that what's making you... Is it making you below average, or above average? I don't know. I think you change. You could have been someone who's below average and you turn to someone who's average. Now when you're more yourself and you step more into who you are as a person, you become above average, Because I feel like attractiveness is an energy and you have to embody it. So you may not be conventionally attractive, but does that make you below average? Does it make you below average? It's a good question. How are we ranking this system in this reading? Even though I, came up with the idea, I didn't really put, are we basing it off of conventional standards, unconventional standards, just people in general, the overall consensus? How are we, breaking this up? It's a question. It's a really good question, honestly. So I paused the reading to blow my nose. And I guess when I was shutting up and being quiet and blow my nose, I heard below average to average with room to improve. And I'm like, what? But they said what they said, okay? So there's room for you to improve, and that's what I feel like I've been getting into in the whole reading, but I've probably been talking over myself that I wouldn't let the message come through. But I definitely think you're someone who's pretty. Like I said, you're pretty, but pretty doesn't always mean above average. People who are pretty, there's gorgeous, there's beautiful, there's levels to it. So you are attractive. That's not what we're talking about, though. People can be attractive but below average. People can be attractive, but you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to differentiate here. Which one are we going for? You have defining features. Your hair is wavy, it's curly, it's beautiful. You look great in red, okay? You have colored hair for some of you do. That's heavily coming through. For my man, we only have one card with a man on it, but there's something here about the way you dress. Your style is also very attractive. So even if you aren't, even if you're coming through as below or average, your style, your aesthetic is giving above average is what I can say. So the way you may look may be one thing, but then the way you dress is another thing, right? And I'm like trying to feel it out and be like, okay, well, what are we focusing on here? And it's like, it's so many different facets to you. We can't focus on one thing. Like I said, it's giving below to average with room to improve is what I heard. So we're going to stick with that, okay? A turtle, slowness, and protection. I'm also hearing progression. So you haven't reached your finest yet. So even if you have below average coming through to average, you have so much room to grow and get better, which is telling me that you are someone who's very attractive, but you may not fit the mold of what people want to throw and push people into to be attractive. Like in group 1, we were talking a lot about guy pretty versus girl pretty, and girl pretty people are seen as like the cream of the crop, and men can even agree that they're attractive, but there's something that men want their women to have that makes them, that pushes them over into obsessing over, and oh my gosh, they're the best person ever, okay? There's like, different things. So for example, I feel like Cara Delevingne is like girl pretty, okay? Because she has the really big prominent eyebrows and she has pretty eyes, but her facial structure is kind of more masculine, if I could, if we're being honest here. And then the eyebrows don't help. Men want more feminine features. They want everything that kind of comes together in a really cute little package. So they want face and body to be giving at the same time, most of the time, for guy pretty. And when it's not giving that, you're put in a box of like, yeah, she's all right, but oh, this other person, oh my gosh, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to find the example I was trying to use in group 1 of the girl with the big boobs, the blonde-headed girl that being mid-movie, she was like Cassie in Euphoria. Like, all the men are like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, she's so gorgeous, and I feel like we see it, right? But that's not who we would consider like one of the greats of beauty. Then I think another example for like girl pretty is Naomi Campbell, which is like very defined cheekbones, and I feel like her face is like, or her facial feature or structure in general makes her more masculine, like tough looking. And men are like, we don't really want tough looking women, we want feminine looking women. So when people are talking about the epitome of beauty and girls are saying Naomi Campbell and men are saying no Margot Robbie and all these other people, it's like, huh? There's a disconnect. We don't understand where the disconnect is coming from, okay? But I think women see beauty and see the whole picture, big picture thinking, and men just see what they want to see, right? They're looking for things that are like standing out to them that they find attractive. They want to look at the lips and the body. Is it giving? Whether the guy likes thick girls or skinny girls is also depending on that as well, and if you're below or above. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're not doing it based on societal standards. We're just doing it based on whatever's coming through in the cards. And I feel like I told you guys already too many times. I don't want to keep repeating myself. But that's what I was also trying to explain to group 1. Just because you may be coming through as below average or average, that just means in the general consensus or populace, there's so many people who are more like, oh my gosh, like, a stunner. Take your breath away, kind of pretty. Not saying you're not beautiful, but you're not, like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to sound like rude, but some people are just, as we all know, there's some people who are just vastly more attractive than others. And I think you're giving like, girl next door, regular kind of person. And then other people are giving like more model, and other people are giving like gorgeous, and just like they have all these different features. And it's a whole bag, which is why looks are just like freaking relative, and looks are what you make it, and looks are beauty to the eye of the beholder, literally. Because it's basically the whole girl pretty versus guy pretty debate, where some girls are giving girl pretty and you get compliments and oh my gosh, you're so beautiful and this and that, but are men looking at you the same way? It's the example that I was using in group 1, where I'm like, in high school I would always get a lot of compliments from girls that I knew, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, and I'm like, oh okay, but I didn't feel that way because none of the guys were telling me that. And when you're in high school, you're thinking about or worried about what the guys are telling you. Like, oh my gosh, like, do the guys find me attractive? I don't give a rat's ass what the girls think, unless I like girls, which I don't. I mean, We ain't here for that. But I was, the male gaze is what I was trying to go for, and I was always giving innocent and cutesy, and, you know, I was never giving like, oh my gosh, I want to, you know, throw over my shoulder and ravage her kind of energy. And that's kind of the energy you're giving me is, like I said, cutesy or girl next doory, but others of you are definitely giving alternative and punk rock and emo vibes. Others of you are definitely giving like sundressy, of the earth kind of energy here, and it's all going in the category of like below to average with room to improve. So some of you could be chubby, you have body weight, you have like really fierce bone structure, you know, maybe I'm hearing your nose maybe too big for your face. For group 1, it was coming through as eyes could be too far apart, so I guess those things are coming through. And look, we have bear, and it's a very husky, cute bear. So it's giving some of you have more weight on you, and it's like, oh, your face is pretty, but your body's a little too heavy for me, right? So it's like, that makes you below average, because that is people who are seen as not as attractive as everyone else. Even if someone, you have the face in the face card, other people can be like, oh, now all they're focusing on is trying to bring you down and belittle you based on your weight. That's all some people would do. They wouldn't say, oh, she's pretty. No, they're like, oh, she's this, she's losing. I'm like, what? Do you not see the face card she's giving, though? It would never decline, but that's not what men, mostly, who judge people based on their looks, their weight, is worried about. They're worried about the whole package. So if you were a little more chunky than they like, or a little too skinny than what they like, and even if your face card is giving, some of them are gonna be like, nah, you know what, no. And I feel like that's more so with people who are bigger than people who are smaller. Because if you're kind of like skinny and gangly and don't really have like a lot of booty and boobs or whatever men be looking for, because I'm not a man, so I really don't know. I feel like you're more likely to find someone who will be like, you know, oh, it doesn't really matter, you know, but the people who are bigger and have more weight on their bones and big boned, or you could be always taller than people, or always has more weight on your shoulders, or, you know, or you're like built like more stocky. For some of you, this bear is giving like, you know, footballer guy, the one who's like, is it defense or the tackler or whatever, is giving me guy from Blind Side with Sandra Bullock. You know, he was like always like he was, I forget what his actual thing was, position, but he was meant to protect, you know, the blind side of the players. And I don't think people would consider him attractive unless you want a guy who's bigger. I need a big boy, you know what I mean? So it really just depends. But like I said, I'm gonna stick with my rating that I gave. Okay, we have playfulness, cooperation. So you do have those vibes in you, but I feel like the culmination of everything together is what I said it was. Because then we have none of the like the big, striking, overly sexual, or overly sexualized astrology cards or, you know, dice coming out. Now, if I was seeing Scorpio and Taurus and Libra, then you know you're aesthetically pleasing and you know you're physically attractive. But we're getting more so Gemini and Virgo, and they're like more close on the moon, where you can't really see who the person is. There's like a lot they're hiding. So you're always hiding your body, hiding your face, running away, anxious, social anxiety kind of energy. I'm hearing anxious attachment or avoidant attachment kind of energy, because people never really get to know the real you. And we have this slowness and protection. Slow and steady wins the race. You're not trying to be what people find attractive. You're trying to be this Aquarius energy of being eccentric and in your own lane, right? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. I hope it resonates. Join the tribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can always get in contact with me. It's my email on the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 3s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 3 or the option 3, welcome. Thank you for joining me here, I guess. Today's reading is going to be about, are you below average, average, or above average in looks? Okay, I should put in character 2. Let me stop. Group 1 and group 2 are very interesting. I'm not even sure how many groups I want to do. Maybe I'll do like at least 4 so people could have like a good amount of, I guess, readings to choose from. But I've been getting kind of more into why people may consider you these things. If it comes through you don't really understand it. I'm trying to read the cards from like a bias or, you know, impartial party standpoint, or, you know, because some things that I may find attractive about people, others may not find attractive, right? Disclaimer: if you get butthurt easily, you're too sensitive, you can't handle readings like this, then don't watch it. I don't want to hear no complaint. I don't want to hear no nothing when your verdict comes through. And I haven't even been able to make a straight verdict so far. I've been given at least like a spectrum, I guess you could say, because there could be different people watching as well, and some people are going to be maybe slightly more attractive than others, so you kind of fit in this range, or so on and so forth. But before this reading started, when I was shuffling and asking Spirit to channel through me, use me as a conduit, okay, as a channel, I heard To Infinity and Beyond, Buzz Lightyear. And I do know that he was considered very attractive when he came on the scene in Toy Story. So based on what's coming through so far, I guess I would say you're above average right off the bat. We'll see what the cards say. I could be wrong. Who knows? But that's coming through. And I also know he had like a chin dimple, he was an astronaut. So maybe you have like a really sexy job that makes you more attractive is what I'm hearing. Because it's funny because I think like it was like 2 weeks ago, or at least like maybe last week. One of the days that I wasn't working, my coworker came back and told me, girl, you missed the show. There was like a bunch of like firefighters that came to the job to like do like a routine check. And I'm like, no, my Shayla. I'm like, not me missing the good stuff. And I'm like, there's just, I don't know what it is, but these firefighters out here, they are just all gorgeous. And I'm like, what are they putting in the milk? What are they putting in the water in the station? Like, why are all of you drop dead gorgeous? It just doesn't make any sense. Even when you're passing by the fire station in New York, at least, all of them in there is poppy chulos. It's giving, I will have your firstborn child. I will bear your children. Come to me. Come to mother. Like, come lay on my bosom. Like, come lay your head other places. Like, stop. It's giving that kind of energy. And I'm just like, not me missing the firefighter. She was explaining one of them and how he had like light eyes and like dark hair. And I'm like, tell me more. Did you get very far? Let me stop. But I was just like, something about that is coming through. So immediately when people see you, it's just like, yeah, I guess you're above average. Okay. But anyway, let's see what comes through the cards. Like I said, once again, if you get butt hurt very easily, this is not the reading for you. I don't want to feel like fighting with these keyboard warriors in the comments thinking they can say whatever they want to somebody on YouTube because they're doing videos. Like, I talk back, okay? And if I don't feel like it, you'll get left on red and get deleted, honestly, because I don't got time to fight with people. That's the kind of effortless beauty you are. I don't got time to fight with people. I got other places to be, right? I got other people to see, okay? Let's get into it. For my group 3s, please, Spirit, are they below average or above average in appearance, please? Hold on, my throat tickling. So people could turn into babbling idiots whenever you're around, because I was literally here like clearing my throat and I was making the weirdest of sounds. You know, like when you have a tickle in your throat and you got to make all kinds of sounds to reach it. Those are the sounds that I was making, okay? And that's coming through. If you people start making all these sounds, they could be cat calling, dog whistling, acting like a dog in heat. That kind of energy when you're around, right? They can't control their actions when they're with you. Their mouth is drooling kind of energy. Now, the first card that we have for y'all is a Knight of Cups. This came through in group 2, so some of you could be coming from group 2. We have the Knight of Cups, just giving people want to give you flowers and romance and wine and dine you, okay? I love that I got this light, because it's definitely giving what I needed to give, okay? Because sometimes I can't even be seeing the cards properly, but now when it's getting dark outside, you can still see me. Thank you, TikTok Shop. Okay? I need to bring my, those things where they, like, not magnetic, but the suction cup circle things that were going viral on TikTok as well, where you kind of like paste it somewhere, lock it, and then it doesn't move. It's like a magnetic phone holder or whatever they want to call it. I got that too, but I don't have time to bring all that stuff to work with me. This is not really the place. And somebody asked me one time, they're like, you're a good looking lady, why do you hide your face? And I'm like, because the reading is not about what I look like. The reading's about the cards. I want you to see the cards more than anything. I don't have to show my face on here. This is not what my channel's about. And if I was doing a beauty channel, then you would have to see my face. Yeah, lifestyle, right? But it's tarot reading, you don't gotta see what I look like. You know what I mean? I'm like, weird questions to ask people. Like, oh, why are you always hiding? I'm not hiding. The camera's like this so you can see the cards and see me shuffling and see. Ooh, I just saw the Queen of Wands. Ah, she came through again. Period, period. Oh, we're taking her. It's definitely giving above average for you guys, for real. But anyway, yeah, like, I'm like, I know I'm good looking. I say it plenty of times in my readings. I would never consider myself ugly. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm not on here to show what I look like. I'm here for you to see the cards. Okay? That's what this channel's about. If you want to see my face, then come support me on my beauty channel. I don't have one right now, but I'll make one. Like, I'll start doing my makeup tutorials and all that kind of stuff. Like, oh, this is how me learning. I'm a beginner. Like, I'll do that. That sounds cute and fun for me. But when it comes to spiritual things and tarot reading, I don't really think as a reader you need to show your face. Like, you know, it's all about vibes at this point. Okay, you're either rocking with me or not, right? And I do feel like maybe some people like really cocky or assertive in your, you know you're cute kind of energy, because that cocky demeanor is coming out of me. But anyway, we have temperance, which means beautiful. Okay, definitely. Even balanced features. You're the perfect balance of feminine, masculine, light, and dark. Okay, it's giving perfection, right? Okay. And this is like giving smolder. It's giving smolder. So you have like a smolder to you. And I have like a lot of more men than the other groups are coming through here. So if my men are watching, you're definitely giving here with the tattoos. That's very sexy about you. Okay, it's getting a little bit F-boy. I'm not gonna lie. Nine of Cups gives F-boy energy. Okay, he wants to wine and dine every pretty little thing that moves, that walks. Is kind of the vibe. So maybe you guys are giving flirt as well. Temperance is Sagittarius kind of energy, so it's definitely giving wild child vibes. It's definitely like very arrogant and assertive is the word that I was looking for earlier. Because my sister, she's in a Sagittarius and she is very annoyingly like arrogant. And I'm like, relax, okay? She's also like a Taurus rising, so she says. I don't know. She's alright. Let me stop. I can't with me. You know, and Taurus risings are known to be some of the prettiest, you know. I'm not co-signing what she says, but just facts. Taurus risings are known to be some of the most attractive signs out there. Scorpio risings and Libra risings as well. So that could be some of your rising signs, and that makes you like automatically have that air of attractiveness, okay? Taurus is kind of giving me like Grecian goddess vibes. That could be your beauty. Scorpio rising is definitely giving me Vixen, giving Lilith vibes. And then, of course, Libra rising is definitely giving like graceful, timeless, classic beauty kind of vibe. The Marilyn Monroes, the Grace Kellys, the Audrey Hepburns kind of energy. You're just effortlessly classy. But your confidence is one of the most attractive things about you for sure, okay? Now, we have the High Priestess. We have the High Priestess. I'm not supposed to take all the cards and then give my verdict. And then we have the Hermit in reverse. Okay. Okay, those are the tarot cards. We have that. I'm hearing clean skin, clean features, very, what do they call it? Is it soft glam or natural makeup? There's not much you need to do to get your desired look. Some of you have shorter hair for me or my women. Of course, if you're a guy, guys naturally have shorter hair sometimes because of beauty standards. If you are a masculine watching, you could have longer hair. And people find that very attractive. It's giving man bun energy, and that was like a whole thing for a few years on social media. Probably still is. Tattoos, tribal, and whatnot, that makes you very attractive as well. So it's definitely giving like a bad boy, bad girl vibe. So yeah. And I think those people usually fit into the pile of above average, okay? I'm going to do one more group, I have decided. So we're going to do a group 4. Because some other aesthetic made me want to come through. Here we have survival and we have power. Yes, you have like a very powerful aura. Because even in this card here, she's surrounded by sharks, but she's still like, she's the one who's glowing. She's literally glowing. Some of you can have like a shock of like a white blonde hair or blonde hair in general. And the Queen of Wands, if I didn't show you, she has short, beautiful curls, okay, beautiful melanin skin. In the Temperance card, we have a guy with red hair, and red hair does stand out. And I do believe redheaded people are fetishized for being like fiery, and you know, they're sexualized in some kind of ways. The vibe that I feel when I think of people who are redheads, they're kind of like, how do you call it? Not maybe stereotyped. I'm hearing, does the carpet match the drapes? They're over hypersexualized, or what I was looking for. Thank you. That phrase helped me get to it. Okay, and the Hermit card in reverse, definitely giving outgoing, out of your shell kind of energy. Nobody can hold you down. I'm hearing drag you down by one direction. But anyway, we have Shark, survival and power. She's like a human. She's flesh and blood. She's in the deep blue sea, and instead of kind of like eating her, the sharks are circling around her. So it's kind of like predator versus prey. You're giving a little bit of prey, or people are trying to like conquer you or win you over, but you're also giving predator, if that makes sense. That masculine and feminine energy coming through. Maybe you're able to flip off the switch whenever you're ready. But yeah, it's giving golden. You definitely shine. And they're like kind of admiring you, circling around you like sharks, like wolves, is also what I'm hearing. So people may want to devour you or eat you up. Some of you could be giving very cutesy as well. The High Priestess is someone who's like a little bit mysterious, a little bit standoffish, a little bit like maybe, you know, mean girly, snotty, snobbish kind of energy is what I think of with the High Priestess, because she doesn't really feel the need to like schmooze and be up under people. She loves to be by herself, and she knows that she's a baddie, and she's gonna be a baddie by her lonesome. She's an independent baddie. She's like, I don't need no man. You know what I mean? It's vibes coming through for you guys. Now we have Nourishment, Transformation, Scarab. So maybe you went from being someone who was not that attractive, conventionally attractive anyway, to being someone who is now. Because you started eating more, eating better. Now your skin is glowing, your hair is flowing. Is what I'm hearing. You're somebody's like glistening and glowing is what I'm hearing. So some of you can be pregnant as well. That's tying into your overall attractiveness. I do feel like, I believe anyway, that when people are like more booed up, they come off as more attractive. Because people, I don't know if it brings out the competition or it makes people want to have them now, because there's something about them. It's like, oh, if you snatch up a partner, there must be something good about you, as opposed to single people who are out here single for who knows why, right? So there's something like unattainable, forbidden, maybe about you. And that ties into your overall attractiveness, which is once again giving above average for you guys. I just heard in the stratosphere, so you're very attractive. Some of you could actually be models. Some of you could have colored hair. You wear things on your hair. I did say colored hair. Yeah, we have red and we have other colors coming through as well. But red is a prominent one, because even in the Queen of Wands, it kind of has like orange, burnt orange kind of hair. I'm hearing sienna. Here we have envelope, which is unfolding and surprise. Unfolding and surprise. Yeah, I feel like you do elicit a kind of feral response in people, where they're just like, I want to know more. I need to unbottle. I need to drink from. I need to soak up anything that I can get from these group 3 people, okay? You're like a closed off envelope that everybody wants to open. I'm hearing longing as well. So people could long for you. Now we have crown, success, and pride. Yeah, you take pride in how you dress. You have a crown. It's definitely giving extravagant dresses. We have this ice blonde or white blonde hair lady coming through once again. Okay, so maybe you wear like very fashionable, timeless pieces. Maybe you wear very expensive pieces. Maybe you wear lots of dresses, ball gowns, things like that. And then we have teeth, control and change. I'm hearing you like to control the narrative, but you also could be very controlling. Control and change. You could always come through as someone who is quite in control with survival and power and success and pride. You kind of give off rich and untouchable vibes, whether you're rich and untouchable. Because like I said, the high priestess keeps herself away from society, not because she thinks she's better than them, maybe, but she doesn't want to be bothered, okay? So even if you are above average, you're not someone who like uses it to make people feel bad, which is why you kind of come off as snobby sometimes, because you don't really talk to people. And I do believe it could be because you're kind of holding yourself back from being hurt, or holding yourself to a certain standard in public. I'm hearing holier than thou, you think you're better than us kind of energy. But yeah, we have control and we have change. I heard trying to get to you was like pulling teeth. So it's definitely giving high value, high maintenance, hard to get kind of person. And that in and of itself, by itself, all alone, makes you more attractive, whether you are someone who comes through as conventionally attractive or not. The fact that you hold yourself to a standard everyone can't get you, you're a hot commodity, that makes you above average in attraction, okay? I need to pull them all the cards. My group threes, please. Are they below average or above average in looks? We have ring, ring, ring. Yeah, you're definitely above average. We have success, fame, and status. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny how I was talking about, yeah, let me start a freaking channel. A beauty channel, all that kind of stuff. Maybe some of you do have one of those, and people are always seeing your face and they want to see more, you know, or people are always telling you, you should start this YouTube or that YouTube kind of energy. And then at the bottom, we have cha-cha-cha. So you could be a good dancer, you could be a performer. Let's see what these guys say. Come here. Bruh. Okay. And then in the scarab, we have like a jewel. So you're a diamond in the rough as well. And a diamond in the rough in the Aladdin movie specifically had to do or pertain to someone who didn't have the best life, had a bit of a rough upbringing, what they made the most out of something. Okay, because I think in the movie it's like, bring me something, a diamond in the rough. So someone who could be buffed and shined and made and molded and morphed into a diamond. Not an actual diamond yet, but a diamond in the rough. Okay, so some of you have those like capabilities to become the diamond of the ball, or I'm hearing diamond of the season from Bridgerton, but it took you some time and some polishing, okay? Look at me. I'm hearing the scene from the Barbie television show. It just needs a little shaping. And then you start hearing all this. And then there. And then this is the person, or they look perfect now after she did a lot of construction, okay? So some of you could have like, could have done plastic surgery or stuff like that, or to make your butt bigger, to make your stomach smaller, something like that. You're giving BBL Drizzy, I think is what it's called. BBL something. Some of you can have a BBL. You spend a lot of money to make yourself look good, okay? I'm hearing facelift, stuff like that. I'm hearing hair transplant, breast augmentation, all different forms of like surgeries. You could have really had a surgery. Ooh, sorry, my eyes are bothering me from this light. Oh boy, it's like staring into the surface of the sun, and that can be what your looks are giving as well. People can't look at you too long. Here we have 10th house, midheaven, the most visible house in the chart. So you're very visible, very attractive. People love looking at you. Your career could definitely be in the spotlight once again. Confirmation for somebody. We have 11th house has so far come through in every single reading. 7th house is friends. I mean, not 7th house, 11th house. Did 7th house come out? No. 11th house is the house of friends. It's the house of networking. It's the house of like social media, the World Wide Web, stuff like that. So that could be, like I said, you have a career on the World Wide Web and everybody's looking at you. Here we have Pisces. And there's just something about those Pisces eyes, right? They just draw you in, drag you in. The Pisces face in general is also very attractive. bruh, move. We have the dice fell onto Libra. So yeah, something very attractive. Why did I pick it up and didn't even look to see what it fell on? That's so crazy. Let's take a try again. Okay, we have Pluto. So there's something like very intense and transformative about your looks. Like maybe intimidating even. Here we have Cancer. We have a lot of water signs coming through here for you guys. And it could be tying into that whole unfolding and surprise. And people aren't expecting the reaction they get to you, or the reaction they have because of you. It could be something coming through as well. But a Cancer is like a very nurturing, very motherly, matronly kind of energy. She makes sure everyone is okay. She sets and builds foundation. She has her own house, has her own car. You know what I mean? I mean, she got her own house. She got her own car. Real something. So she a bad bra kind of energy. So let's give it bad B. Okay. The last one we have is Neptune. That's an air of like underwater, things not feeling real. So maybe your beauty could be ethereal in a kind of way. I'm hearing Gigi Hadid. She always kind of gives me some otherworldly being that kind of came down on Earth, especially the color of her eyes. They're like a very unique blend of like green, blue, and like orange. And I'm like, that's such a beautiful eye color. Where did you come from, right? It's kind of like you can't fathom their beauty at this point. So your eyes can be coming through, your eyebrows are coming through. They're very defined or very like shapely, okay? Your smile is coming through, your eyelashes, whether they're fake or not. We have tattoos coming through with this guy here. For some of you, if you're guys, you have the sides of your head cut off and you have the top is all loose and tousled. Okay, for others of you, have red hair, longer hair for my men, red hair, long hair for my women, honestly. And even short red or ginger hair coming through the Queen of Wands. In the Hermit card, we have blonde hair. So some of you can just be blonde and you like to chill and relax. But the hotel, I mean, not the hotel, what am I saying? Ooh, people trying to bring you to the hotel. Maybe you're staying at a hotel right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I meant to say Neptune. Still thinks that after all these years, wait. I'm going crazy. What am I even saying? Hold on. Neptune. Something was coming through. Because that is the weirdest thing. Like, I feel like I just dissociated in the craziest way. I was seeing an image and I was speaking without even knowing what I was talking about. Okay, so I was getting the image of Flynn Rider or somebody at the end of a tower. And, like, it's like Rapunzel, let down your long hair. So some people have really long hair. And it's kind of like how he was trying to convince her to help him up in the beginning of the movie. Flynn Rider and, Rapunzel. And I was going to say, it's crazy how we never forget or it never goes away. Maybe your looks like haunt people sometimes, Wow, that was the craziest thing. Okay, Neptune. I feel like I wanted to say something, but I kind of so I'll leave it alone. People get lost in your looks, lost in your eyes, lost in your touch. Maybe you give off the angelic vibes and looks anyway, or demeanor. Like, oh, she's the sweetest thing ever, or he's the sweetest thing ever, kind of thing. Interesting, there was something I was picking up from Neptune. I'm hearing siren energy. Maybe you could lure people to their doom. Because there was a distinct image of a guy pulling up to an island where there's shards of rock and going to the bottom of a tower. And I don't know if that's Rapunzel or something else, but Rapunzel is the only one that I know where a guy comes and helps save her initially, or potentially, essentially, because she lets her hair down and lets him up, and they're able to go back down and, embark on their journey. Interesting. That could definitely be a thing. People start saying stuff and they don't really know what they're saying. They could like babble, fumble over their words, stuff like that when it comes to you. Oh my gosh, some of you could be Caribbean. I keep zoning out and just like getting dragged to these different scenarios in my head, but I'm not really saying anything. I don't know how long I was quiet for, but it felt like a long time. And I was hearing somebody in a Caribbean household making food and cussing somebody out. Very interesting. I'm gonna leave the reading right here before I keep getting lost. I'm like, wait. Like if you heard me get quiet, I was like in another dimension, I swear. So I'm seeing somebody cooking a big old pot of rice, and you know they have a Caribbean accent, and like they're like shooing somebody or hitting somebody with like a broom or something. I'm hearing get out of my pot. So people like want to open your pot and get up in there and touch up on you and be around you, and you don't really give your consent. Something like that is coming through. But you help people or make people lose their train of thoughts and all that kind of stuff. I do think there's something like otherworldly about you where people don't think you came from this world, because we have this high priestess energy coming through here, and like behind her, she's kind of opening up a portal. And it's kind of giving me how like a really long time ago, I used to watch a show called Star-Crossed. It was a show about aliens coming down to, or humans and aliens trying to, you know, get along together, and aliens being like third-class citizens in a high school. And they would be brought in, and I think they would try to be friends, but all the humans hated them, and all the aliens hated the humans. But there was just one couple, right? And they fell in love, and there was something about opening up a different portal. That was somebody's power. That is the weirdest flashback. I haven't thought of that show, or that show's never come up in a reading before, but it was called Star-Crossed. And it was like it was kind of popular, but they canceled it really early. I do believe it was like popular on like ABC Family, or it was ABC Family, or CW, one of those. But I only pulled out 2 cards for them. Can I get one more card for my group 3s, please, Spirit? One more card for my group 3s. No, that's too many. That's not one. One more card. I don't think I need one more card, but we have it. And we have this could be good. Yeah, so you're definitely getting above average. We kind of went over that. I'm still so surprised that I was spacing out. That's crazy to me. But yeah, you could have perfect features, perfect distribution of divine masculine and feminine energy and looks is kind of what I'm getting. So some of you could be a pretty boy, or you're like a very masculine and feminine, but you're still very above average, and it doesn't really matter what kind of features you have that may be masculine, because you still look gorgeous and beautiful, is the kind of vibe that's coming through here. Some of you could have like really dark lips. I'm hearing smoker lips, and you're still very attractive. Like, so despite the small little things that kind of make you unique, the idiosyncrasies or, you know, stuff like that, blemishes, people still find you insanely attractive, and that's how it is. You know how to have fun for real though. But something about this control and change the teeth wanted to come through, but I'm completely forgetting. I'm hearing tongue-in-cheek, quirky vibes. But yeah, I'm ending your reading right here before I keep just sitting here trying to get more messages. We got what we needed, I feel like. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 4s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 4, number 4, however you got here, welcome to your reading. Today's reading is going to be about, are you below average or above average in appearance, looks, whatever you want to call it. So I feel like I was on the train like 2 weeks ago, and I was on my way from work, and I just stopped at like Burlington and bought all this stuff for no reason. And I'm like, I was looking at this lady on the train, and I'm like, oh, she's mad pretty. And looking at different other people, I'm like, maybe that person look a little grunt. Like, let me stop. My mind is rude, guys. I know, okay? But you know how you be looking at people, some of them be looking a little, and then someone's looking, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, she's mad pretty. She's very beautiful. And I'm like, I wonder what she would think of me if she was looking at me, or if she looked my way. What would she think of me? Would she think that I'm average? But me, like, sitting on the train car and looking around at everybody, I'm like, there's just certain people who, like, stand out and are very beautiful. And there's other people who are, like, average. You just look at them and, like, oh, whatever. And you would kind of gloss over their looks, okay? And that gave me the idea for the reading. I'm like, are you below average, above average, or regular average person in looks, okay? And that's how this reading came about. So we're going to get into your reading and see what comes through. Already at the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Cups. Okay, so this would be giving above average, okay? I almost flipped up and said below average. Interesting. Let's see what cards we get for my group 4s. I wanted to do more than just like 3 groups so people could have a chance to like corroborate what came through in their first initial group, okay? These are a lot of cards. I don't think I want this money though. I'm going to put these back. My group 4, please, Spirit. Are they below average or above average in looks? I'm hearing stature as well. So you could be someone who's very tall, and that immediately makes you someone who's very attractive, since height is very attractive for whatever reason. What card is this? We have the 9 of Wands in reverse. Very interesting. I'm hearing there's something sharp about your features or your looks. Here we have the Emperor, the Page of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. Interesting. I heard you don't know how beautiful you are. Can I get one more card? And I told myself if all these cards came out in reverse, I'm just going to turn them over. Because I'm not going to sit here with the reading full of reversals. What I look like. What I look like scared. Maybe you scare people. And I'm seeing Knight of Swords. So I'm going to take this. Okay. Sorry for the noise if that's annoying you. I'm just trying to get this show on the road. I'm going to get all the cards out on the table and tell you what I'm picking up. And then give you your overall consensus. Okay. Let me get some cards from here. You're giving dangerous. That's the kind of energy you're giving. You're giving intimidating, dangerous, don't come any closer, leave me alone. And I feel like for some people that's very sexy and very attractive. Jesus Christ. Did you see what the cards just did right there? And here we have open mind. We have attraction, and we have do it yourself. So there's an intimidating air to you. I'm going to put all these cards back. We have stormy weather, which came through in group 1. So some of you could be from group 1. Jesus Christ. And we have doors fly open, cut ties, and 50-50. Okay, so in the beginning, I was hearing above average, and I was also hearing below average. So there could be both of you in this group right now, which is kind of like why we have doors fly open, cut ties, and 50-50. We're going to see what comes through when I reshuffle them. They come out again. But some of you are giving dangerousness, and then some of you are kind of giving more, I'm hearing secluded, more meek. I'm hearing skittish. Okay, let's see what comes through. You're bold. Here we have money bags. We have jackpot. So you could have won the, what is it called? Biological jackpot is what I'm hearing. You could be rich as well. And like I said, certain things in society make you more attractive. Height, money, okay? That could be what's coming through here for you guys. My group 4s. Jeez Louise. We have mend a relationship. I'm also hearing groveling. So people could like grovel to be in a relationship with you. But before these cards rudely splatter all around the place. And we have avoid obstacle. Yeah, you're giving like bad boy. But like really, really, really like biker, maybe gang kind of stuff. I don't know, really intense energy coming from you guys. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys got Scorpio somewhere in here. Because I thought the Nine of Wands was the Tower for at first. But I'm getting Daryl from Walking Dead. And this card always gives me him. Knight of Swords. But it's a crossbow that gives me him. It's always the crossbow that gives me him. Then we have the Emperor. It's like a very commanding presence. You seem like very calculating. Like, don't mess with me. And I'm hearing very specifically, some of you could be like, of course, people of color. And immediately people like always scared or wary of people of color. Like, oh, they're gonna steal my wallet. You start holding your wallet extra, you know, tight. You go into the store, you're racially profiled, and like, oh my gosh, you're probably gonna steal, so they follow you around. People kind of like give you weird looks, stuff like that. It's the kind of energy, and I feel like it's because you could be someone who's big and imposing, and people don't really know what to take you for. Okay, you could be someone who's really tall. I think I said that already. That's the energy I'm getting from the Emperor and the Nine of Wands. Here we have a shark. So like, you're like a shark. So there's nothing like dangerous and scary about your looks. We have survived and we have power. So you give off an air of power with this, the Emperor and the King of Swords, right? I'm hearing you have like a side eye or like a dirty look. Oh, it didn't even fall. Period. I appreciate you, card. I thought it would have fallen. Here we have a triangle, choices and indecision. That's a big vibe that I'm getting from this. It's like, what do people take you for? I'm kind of like, what kind of girl do you think that I are? The kind that you meet in the bar? You think you get whatever you want because you're some kind of star? It's giving attitude. Walk off. Attitude. Now walk off. That freaking trend from TikTok. Choices and indecision. People don't know if you're attractive or not, or they have a hard time deciding because there's like some kind of stigma or something that's holding them back from seeing you. I'm hearing it as a person. Wow. Okay. Dang. And yeah, you're seen as like a, I'm not going to say circus act or animal, but it's like you're not seen as human. You're seen as inhuman in some kind of way. Someone who maybe thinks they're too good or you are too good. But there's something like that's very intimidating about it because we have this Nine of Swords here and I keep looking at it. And no matter where I turn my head, I keep coming back to the Nine of Swords. And that's something about like grief, not being able to sleep, turmoil, and indecision maybe sometimes. So it's like with this triangle, people are like, wow, this is like really weird. I really don't know what to take my group fours for. Would I see something attractive? And it could be because you're not conventionally attractive, but you still are attractive. And it's giving me that whole trend on TikTok as well, where people would be like, I have a bunch of like really striking features, but it doesn't come together on my face really well. And then there's a bunch of people who have like a bunch of weird features that tie together really well. So if you were to look at them separately, it's kind of like, what? Wait, like very big, like dark eyebrows, and you have dark eyes, and you have like dark skin, and it's kind of like you're really tall and you're muscular or you're heavier or whatever. And then people are like, wait, these things don't usually go together, and there are a bunch of things that are supposed to be seen as like ugly or not attractive, right? But when it comes together on your face, it makes you look attractive. It works, right? And I'm like, I'm not sure if I should be scared and running in the other direction, or begging you to kind of like, come here and put me over your knee. I'm screaming, put me over your shoulder, something like that. If I should be begging you to take me. It's what I'm hearing. Goodness gracious. This is like a very the triangle, choices and indecision. They don't really know. When people are looking at you, it's kind of like, maybe one time. Oh boy, I just heard medium ugly. Y'all are sick. People are really sick. Not medium ugly. Who says that? So far, Turtle has come through for 3 groups. Who's watching all 3 groups? Here we have slowness and protection. So you take things slow. You're very methodical. You think things out. Yeah, you're very strategic with the Emperor card coming out and like the chess symbol or the chess piece. I'm hearing maybe you're kind of like a code switcher, or you move in different spaces, which is why you're coming through with someone who's a King of Swords, Nine of Wands, and the Emperor. But then you're also coming through with someone who's a Page of Wands, a Nine of Swords, and a Knight of Swords. So a Nine of Swords, I meant to say, enunciate, and then a Knight of Swords. So that's the kind of energy coming through for you guys. And here we have birds, news, and messages. So people do talk about your looks a lot. They're not really sure what to take you for. And this could be something about maybe you have like you're older and people, they're not supposed to find you attractive because they're younger. Maybe you're someone who's older and intimidating, and you like attract a lot of younger people, because pages and knights are younger energy. And then we have Emperor, which is the old man, okay, the father. And then we have the King of Swords, which is kind of the same energy. This guy is giving me, what's his name? Black Lightning. But his human half of him is like a Benjamin or something like that. No, let me look him up. Maybe you're also someone just really weird, because I was just having like a really weird... I'm not going to do it again. I can't. That's too embarrassing for YouTube, okay? But I was like getting like crunk like on my own, while I'm looking up the person, and I'm like making noises and like making my own little beat. I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. It doesn't really matter. Like I'm just getting crazy, getting crunk on myself, So maybe that's the kind of energy you could give. Just like, having fun by your own, doesn't really need anybody else. Maybe loner vibes could be coming through for you guys as well. And people are like, do we see the weird kid as sexy or scary? Who and what and why? Okay. But Black Lightning / Jefferson Pierce, played by Cress Williams. Now, I feel like in certain places, if I were to see him, we're going to use me as an example, so I'm not like, if you get upset at me, whatever. If I were to see him, I wouldn't think he's that attractive, right? Especially the picture they have when you look him up on Google, or what they're showing for the cast when I look up Black Lightning. I don't think he's that attractive. That's my opinion, though. But he's tall, he's muscular, he's a teacher. Exactly. So someone who's in your community, someone who's very much older than you. For some of you, could be older, distinguished. You could be an older woman. They're like, we shouldn't find that attractive. It's giving DILF and MILF. And they're not usually seen as attractive people, mothers and fathers, because they have like not a certain reputation to uphold. I'm screaming. No. They have like certain stigmas placed on them. Like a mom can't be hot, a dad can't be hot, but you are. And you defy those stigmas because you are a mom, yes, but you're also a MILF. You're a dad, yes, but you're also a DILF. So when I was watching the show and I first saw him, I'm like, ew, they couldn't come up with someone who's more attractive. No tea, no shade, but that's just my opinion. Who's more attractive to play Black Lightning? But then the more I watched the show and I saw he was tall and hulking and a little broody but nerdy and like fathering his kids and actually being there in his kid's life, that made him more attractive to me based on what I had been through. You know what I mean? My father wasn't really there, but to see him really care for his kids and be a teacher and upstanding member of society, and I'm like, it's kind of giving, okay? Debbie Ryan Eartug is kind of giving, okay? And if I were to just see him on the street and I'm like, I'm not really checking for you, Cress Williams. You're tall and you're attractive, but I don't really care about height. That's not what I find attractive in my life, okay? You can be someone who's like shorter, but if you're cute, I'm like, yeah. If you're not like, that's not about me though. Anyway, that's how I can explain it to you. If I were to see Cress Williams, Justin Jefferson Pierce, whatever on the side of the street, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But then seeing him in the show and seeing how he was like kind of tortured and he cared about his wife and his kids and he was a teacher and he was a big part of his community, I'm like, oh, that's kind of sexy. And it's like who you are, not what you look like kind of energy, So I would kind of say maybe you guys are like average. But I wouldn't say you're below. No. You're average to above average is the kind of medium I'm placing it at for you guys, okay? Because we have these very powerful, potent, hitters here. It's giving, like I said, older person, MILF, DILF kind of energy. And I'm like, oh, yes, absolutely. But then we have this Nine of Swords here, which is like there's some kind of distress over the rest of the energy coming through. We have Nine of Wands, very assertive, sure of yourself, intimidating. You're a fighter, you know? And it's like, oh, should I find this attractive? Like I said, you're someone who's not that attractive, but because you have money, that adds like 1,500 points, and that makes you attractive. Like it says, you don't even gotta be attractive. You just gotta have money, right? And these people will be flocking to you. That's kind of what I'm getting. But with this avoid obstacle in men in a relationship, people do find you very intimidating, and that could either add or take away from your overall like score. It just depends what people like. Let's get the dice. Those definitely really help me more. We have news and messages. You could be like highly talked about, as he was, because he was like a big pillar in his community in the show, the Black Panther. Jefferson Pierce, he was a teacher at the school. I think he used to be like his best friend was the mayor or a police officer, and then he became a mayor. He had a lot of connections. It's definitely giving someone who's like in the thick of things. Teacher, professor, boss kind of energy is what you're giving. I don't know how to say you look like that, but that's the kind of persona that's coming through in this reading right now. And like I said, the troubled, brooding, I don't love anybody, nobody loves me, I don't want to get close to anybody. Darrow from Walking Dead. So silent, broody kind of person. Now we have Pluto coming through here, so there is an intensity here. Okay. I'm hearing your eyes can be very pretty. But tell me, I want you guys to look up the guy from Black Lightning and tell me this guy always reminds me of him. He always reminds me of him. Always. It's giving like dad who wears the button-up shirt and the pants that don't really match, but he's making it work. He's making it look cute. He's giving older, distinguished, mature kind of vibes. That's him. Okay, here we have 6th house, which is very clean, cleanly. So it's kind of like I have a crush on the teacher kind of energies what you guys are giving. And I feel like that's like, I don't know, our teachers, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to leave it at what I said. Average to slightly above average, depending on who you're asking. Here we have Gemini. So you're very smart, you're very intelligent, and that adds to the appeal, right? You have good back and forth, good banter kind of energy. There's 2 sides to you, which would make a lot of sense because we have this Page of Wands, a lover of life, someone who's lusting after something. Ooh, lustful energy. People could be lusting after you, okay? And then they're kind of like scared and worried about it with the 9 of Swords here. And the Knight of Swords wanting to chase after it. It's kind of like when you see your teacher outside of class. You're like, oh, so this is what you look like. This is what you do. Here we have 1st house. So definitely your bodies, I feel like it was what's giving tea. Some of you are tall, some of you are muscular, and that immediately adds to the appeal. Because like I said, most people just find people who are taller to be attractive, and that's not how I rank things, but it's coming through. So if you're someone who's like tall and dynamic and like assertive, dominant, a boss, it's giving above average. Okay, your job can be sexy as well, and people are like, oh yeah, I like that. Who you are as a person is also very attractive, and I think plays a big part into who you are and how people view your looks. And now we have Mars coming through with the Emperor. Yes, you're very, very, very masculine. This is my most masculine pile so far. We have men coming out the most. You have like a very athletic build. You have like nice toned thighs. People love when you're wearing shorts and showing off your legs. You could be a runner. She's a runner. She's a track star. In relationships or just in general, you run. Oh, you wear button downs and you wear slacks and you wear like, dress shoes. And then others of you are giving kind of like the Henleys. Oh, the Henleys and the leather cuts on top of it. And you have your already unconventional long man hair that's gray in a man bun. And other people wouldn't be able to work it, but you're working it and making it look good. Oh, you're making it look good. Okay, you could look really good in white as well, because we have 3 cards coming out where white is like prominent. And people are like, why do you find them attractive? What are you doing? It worries them. But you're just like, I'm not supposed to be hot for teacher. I'm not supposed to have a crush on my boss. Like, I'm not supposed to have a crush on this mom, this dad. Like, who are they? But you just have this, I don't know, roguish, kind of intimidating, scary, steely stare. Like, do as I say, I'm going to put you over my knee kind of energy that whips people into shape, child. Whips people into shape, I meant to say. But yeah, we have Mars, very aggressive. But other times, that's not Mars, dang. Other times it could be, you know, very sexy when you have someone who's like telling you what to do, right? Sorry, guys. And then we have Libra. So I'm surprised this didn't come through another reading. You have like a bit of an intensity, bad boy, bad girl. I'm hearing bad boy, bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Don't do that. Not cops coming through. Oh, this is dangerous. And that's you. You're giving like Aries, god of war. Like, I'm not supposed to be attracted to it, but that's the exact reason why I'm attracted to it. But yeah, Libra is like very, very stylish is what I'm getting for you guys. Absolutely. You're very stylish. And that's something that ties into your attraction, like the way you dress. So I'm hearing, sorry, I'm rubbing my nose with A and D because it's getting, you know, chafes from all this nose blowing. It's giving me how, like, Chris Evans has always been an attractive guy, right? When he was Johnny or whatever Storm in what's it called? Why am I blanking? I'm acting like I watched the movie. I didn't. But he was in one of those movies. Then he turned out to be Captain America. Very cute. But it wasn't like the internet went crazy earlier this year when he was promoting one of his newer movies. And it's because he had like the teacher look. He had the floppy hair. He had the glasses. He had the sweaters. He had the slacks. Like, he was dressing very grown man, teacher, office chic, librarian kind of energy. And the girls were going crazy on TikTok, and me included. I'm like, oh, you look good. Like Zazzy, okay, Poppy. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, she just looks so distinct. He looks very different. I feel like he has the moments of like growing a full beard. It's like it's giving very masculine. Only people who have like a lot of, I feel like, testosterone can grow a full beard. Don't quote me on that. That's just the vibe, okay? That's just the vibe. And you're giving someone with a lot of testosterone, whether you're female or not, okay? I mean, whether you're female or masculine or male. But the way you dress is very beautiful. Like I said, if you wrap a very crusty, dusty, that sounds so wrong. If you wrap a not so appealing present in beautiful wrapping paper, it gets people excited to look at it because it looks like, you know, looks can be deceiving kind of energy is what I'm getting from this. But like I said, I would say you're like average, but like when you dress yourself up, it's giving above average, right? Others of you, you're very youthful, very innocent, very fun, go with the flow kind of energy. I want to live life to the fullest. I'm running, I'm on track, and that kind of stuff. I'm a dancer, I stay very fit. And immediately those things and hobbies makes you more attractive. Like I said, you could be someone who's very attractive, you know, physically, but it's the things that you do and what you wear that makes you more attractive. It kind of dresses your body up. So maybe some of you have the Clark Kent, the Superman like curl coming down the middle of your forehead. You have the superhero vibe coming through because we talk about Captain America, then we talked about Black Lightning. Now we're talking about then we talked about Johnny Storm, and I still can't remember where he's from. But yeah, we talked about Clark Kent, Superman. So you're giving off like superhero, come save me. Somebody save me. That's my song, bro. I swear I was doing a rewatch of the Smallville show, and I kind of like, I don't know why I fell off, but it's so freaking good. Like, I don't care how you do it, just say. So you're giving anti-heroes, the vibe you're giving, honestly, because Daryl, Oh, he was very much anti-hero. He was like the villain in the beginning. He didn't really talk to anybody in the beginning seasons. Then he started opening up a little bit more. Then he like developed his friendship with Rick, and then he was very overprotective of all the people under him and Rick's charge. And like Daryl, I love me some Daryl. I love me some Rick, but Daryl had like a little dangerous bad boy intense. You shouldn't like him, but you still do energy to him. And Rick was just giving golden boy. So maybe you guys are like a mixture of those two, you know? How, what's his name? Chris Evans played like the villain, or like the hot-headed whatever Johnny Storm in I still can't Fantastic Four. Thank you. It finally came through. Like, what the heck? Fantastic Four. Then you turn around to be the good boy, goody two shoes, Captain America, right? And then he's been playing more evil villains recently, and it's just like he's giving, you know. No matter what he does, he wears glasses. He's giving older, distinguished gentleman. Then we have another side to him where he was younger and hot-headed, you know what I mean? So maybe it's two sides or two different people coming through. A split down the middle energy, because we have the Pluto energy, okay? We have the rebel energy with Mars and Pluto. Those two are giving rebel. Then we have 6th house and Libra, which is giving very, you know, prim and proper. And maybe it's a dichotomy between those two, the good boy and the bad boy, the good girl and the bad girl, between you two that kind of like maybe your good girl persona is like, you know, average. But then when you get into that bad boy persona, it's like, oh my gosh, above average, right? And then maybe it's the flip side. Maybe when you're in that bad boy persona, it's giving average, whatever. But then when you start being that good boy, that, you know, distinguished, older, mature gentleman that can take you over their knee, you start giving above average. I guess it'll just depend for everyone. Take what resonates for you. But that's the energy that's coming through for you guys. This is just, I don't know. Yeah, that's the choices and decision. It's like, which one is it? The world will never know. I feel like you would know what resonates for you, but it's like, I can go back and forth. I can sit here all day and go back and forth. Then we have 1st house, and then we have Gemini energy, which is that dichotomy, split down the middle. Sometimes you're this, sometimes you're that. You know what I mean? It's the thrill of never knowing what you're gonna get with you that people find very attractive, I feel like. And that's what's coming through for y'all. So like I said, it's giving average if you're one way and above average. So we're gonna stay right there, okay? And even in the beginning of the reading, I feel like you guys got the 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Then I was hearing below average. I don't know. It just depends, honestly. And I love how at the bottom of the deck we have the the High Priestess. So people really don't know what to take you for. You could be someone who's very private. And I do believe that's Chris Evans as well, especially since he got married. He hasn't really been, I think he's always been a little bit private, but he's not really putting his business out there. People don't really know what, and that's the King of Swords for real. Someone who's very private, someone who's very smart, someone who's very intelligent, someone who's very studious, you know what I mean? Nerd vibe, like old nerd, grown nerd, like gray hair kind of energy, right? Okay, I'm gonna stop right there before I start getting crazy again. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. There could be something about you that always looks worried, and I'm hearing a pinched lip, and you don't really, like, you know, too serious vibes for you sometimes, what I'm hearing as well. But like I said, I could sit here all day and try to decipher this message. We have 28 minutes worth of goodness. I hope you accept it. If it resonated for you, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you'd ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me. Use my email and the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. I'm also hearing that you guys like be very muscular. And like people, you could pick someone up and throw them over your shoulder and save them and protect them. Is the kind of energy that's coming through. So it is giving a little bit of superhero, okay? It's giving following duties and doing what you must do, and, you know, being the good boy, the saint, but also not, right? Because both keeps coming through. So it's because you have both inside of you. You're a little bit of a rebel without a cause, or you're a rebel with a cause, right? Okay, now I'm done. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.